Beat. All right. Just making sure Gaines good.
Is the game good?
Gaines is good. Fucking Gaines.
You, right now, are looking like the opposite of Gaines.
What are you talking about?
You're looking slim.
Oh.
Slimmer.
Oh, nice.
Damn it.
But you're trying to.
No, I'm trying to be slimmer. Like, I'm not 240 pounds anymore.
I'm coming after Tony. Pretty soon I'm going to be doing little titty dances back at him when he fucking sits there, that stupid look on his face, and he's like, I'm coming for him. I'm doing it. My titties are going to dance.
Booby dances.
Booby dances. Is titty too offensive?
Where are the boobies?
A lot of dudes.
Welcome to Almost Agreeable. Almost Agreeable. With your hosts, Chris Nellison and Ed Harris. Hang around and listen to opinions on sports, movies, music, and whatever else pops in our head.
Welcome back to another episode of the Almost Agreeable podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris. With me, as always, is Ed. And we have a guest in the studio, quote unquote.
We'll call it a studio.
Call it a studio. I like to call it an office because if I can work in here a lot.
You don't work.
I work. Anyways, guest with us today. Let's welcome Andrew to the show. Andrew has been, I'm going to preface this before he introduces himself, but the three of us go back to debauchery and savagery days of our mid-20s. I don't know. Just establishing we go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like Chris said, I'm Andrew. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I can't really follow up that introduction because we go way back. We had a lot of fun. Roommates for many, many years. And it's fun to do little projects like this with you guys.
It is fun. Like, we've been wanting to get you on for a while, but you hate us, so...
Well, no, not exactly. No, that's not
like, this is what happens, exactly. I'm going to give you the rundown. It goes like this. Andrew, you want to be on the podcast? And he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay. That's what happens.
No, the last time there was a blizzard, but...
There was a fucking blizzard.
There was a blizzard.
But yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Sweet. So today we'll be continuing our foray into Star Wars, right? We've went over the prequel trilogy. We've gone over the sequel trilogy, not in that order, obviously. And today we're going to talk about not part of a trilogy, but one of the standalone films that's come out since it's been under the umbrella of Disney. And that, of course, is probably the only good movie Disney's come out with as far as Star Wars is concerned, and that's Rogue One. I just made a controversial statement. Where do you guys stand on it?
I don't think it's that controversial, but I don't think it's 100% accurate. Because Solo is, this is going to be an episode about Solo. But Solo is it's like a 6.5.
It's not bad.
Out of 10.
It's not good.
I'd watch it again. I have watched it multiple times, but it's okay.
Our producer hasn't seen it, so I'm going to watch it again when she wants to watch it.
Very good.
So I'll
Very
watch
good.
it again. What'd you think of Solo?
Solo?
Yeah.
I loved watching Solo in theaters, and then when I came and told people that I liked it, I got a lot of backlash and wait, are you sure you watched the same movie? So I went back and watched it a couple more times, and I was like, I do see some plot holes here that I missed, but overall it was enjoyable to watch.
I enjoyed it. I saw it when we were in we were out of the country.
Yeah, I definitely was the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw it in theaters, I was like, this is the shit. This is so good. And then watching it again, I was like, yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was, but it's still pretty solid. And I don't know that actor's name even, but he did the best job that I think anybody could at being Han Solo and not trying to be Harrison Ford.
I agree. I saw a meme. Well, it wasn't actually a meme, but it was an appreciation post on a Star Wars subreddit. It was like, can we appreciate... insert actor's name because I also don't know it. Trying, doing a great job being Han Solo and not Harrison Ford, which is great. Now, gonna steer right back into the topic.
That's all the Solo talk we need. We're not gonna have a whole episode about Solo.
No, we won't have an episode about Solo.
We did it. That's our Solo episode.
So yeah, okay, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Just kidding. Rogue One, though, I think maybe opposite reactions of what we just talked about with Solo. Right, so Rogue One, when it first was rumored to be in production and all that stuff, what are you guys thinking? Like, take yourselves back to a time before it's out, and just kind of talk to me like your feelings initially of like, okay, this is not a trilogy, part of the trilogy, or the saga of Skywalker. It's supposed to be a standalone. What are your thoughts in that moment?
Wasn't that one of Disney's first, if not their actual first project on Star Wars?
I think Force Awakens came out
That's
first.
what I was going to
Okay.
ask. I wasn't sure which one came out first. But
It's probably a good thing to look up.
Yeah, I think it was The Force Awakens that came out first.
So, I remember when we went and saw Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Oh, we're also pretending that they don't exist.
What do you mean?
We're pretending that the sequels don't exist.
Oh, yeah.
It was like we've talked about our full 6 Star Wars movies,
Mm-hmm.
our 2 trilogies, only 2 trilogies. Those are the only ones that exist, and
I love that. I'm on board.
But go ahead and talk about what you were going to say with Force Awakens. I just want to establish that that's the running gag.
So Ed and I went and saw Force Awakens, and it was pretty good, but at the same time, I was a little nervous to see the direction Star Wars was going with Disney. So, hearing about Rogue One coming out, I was a little apprehensive about it at first, and then I did think it was cool that they were trying to connect the prequels and Episode 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then after seeing it, I was completely blown away, and I still think to this day that it's in my opinion, second best Star Wars movie ever.
I can't even say that I disagree with that, just because obviously my number one always will be Empire.
Yes.
And then...
it's too easy.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, as far as Rogue One goes, because it was different, right? There wasn't random Skywalkers running around. Well, there was a random Skywalker. Not random at all. There was a Skywalker at the very end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. It's been out for 6 years, 5 years. Same thing. I'm fucking gonna say spoilers. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
If you're listening to this, you've seen the fucking movie.
Yeah, fair.
Hopefully, yeah.
And like you said, like that kind of bridge in between trilogies, I loved the concept of that being a standalone, kind of bridging, and it kind of plays along like right into some of the series that I've talked about many times on this show, as far as Clone Wars and Rebels. But with Rogue One, you get that kind of power you don't get with those TV series, because one, they're cartoons. This is a Hollywood fucking budget, and it has to do with characters you're familiar with and characters you're not. Introduces new characters that, let's be real, they die, and you get attached, and it was like, oh fuck. It gives you the rawness of that Star Wars that you never got to see because everyone's protected by plot armor.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. It shows the grittiness of this Imperial war machine. And it's just like, oh, okay, these it's not just people, with powers that are just making things then work. These are just people trying to get by.
Right. I mean, look at the city of Jeddah, where they're harvesting the Kyber crystals for the Death Star. And just to see, these other locations within the Star Wars universe that we don't get to see a whole lot in the prequels and original trilogy. And everyday normal people of this galaxy. So grittiness is a great word, you said it. Raw is another word you can describe it, and I like that. Like that aspect is where it's like you have people that aren't fucking Jedis, that aren't fucking Sith. They are not Mandalorians.
There's more people than the Skywalker family in the galaxy.
Yes, or Solo.
Yeah.
And I really thought that the directors and creators of the movie did a fantastic job of taking less than 2 hours to introduce new characters, making you love the characters, and then even though they all died in the end, you were like, these were the heroes.
They were.
Yeah.
The unsung heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear, in Return of the Jedi, when Mon Mothma's like, a lot of Bothans died to bring us this information. It's like, okay, what the fuck is a Bothan?
What the fuck is a Bothan?
Yeah.
Who's Bothan?
Yeah, but in this, these weren't Bothans. These were people that did die to bring us this information. You think about everything that happens in A New Hope as far as the Death Star plans, with R2 taking him to Tatooine, trying to get him to Kenobi, then eventually getting him to Luke, and blah, 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 all starts with what happened in Rogue One. And like you said, they all fucking die. And we get introduced to maybe, everyone's new favorite droid. I'm not going to lie. Obviously R2 is, in the upper echelon of droids in this whole fucking saga, but K2 is just, he's nice.
a really good comic relief in the movie. It was really balanced.
One of my favorite GIF templates came from that, where it's like, where he like rescues her, and he's like,
"Don't resist, you're being rescued."
Yeah, you're being rescued.
Please do not resist. Yeah, it's really cool to. I actually, when you told me to watch Rogue One, because we were going to talk about it, after watching it, I a few hours later rolled right into 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy, and it's cool to watch those, knowing what you know that was brought to you with the Rogue One crew.
Right, and like it kind of fixes a huge plot hole, if you will. That everyone was like, "How is this thermal exhaust port just there?" And they were able to get it. It's like, well, motherfucker, watch Rogue One, because then you find out that this dude designed that flaw for this purpose. But it also opens up a little of a plot hole, and this is me being nitpicky. There's like a part in New Hope when Vader's like telling Princess Leia she's a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor, and she's like, "I'm on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan." He's like, "Bitch, did you not see Rogue One? I saw the plans go to your ship. I synced it.
I was just there.
I slaughtered a bunch of rebels that was protecting your ship."
And not to mention, quite possibly the best Darth Vader cinematic scene ever.
Man.
I figured y'all would leave time to talk about that, because it is the best Darth Vader
We could use
scene.
the rest of the fucking time on the episode to talk
Yeah.
about that scene.
So good.
This is the Vader that everyone wanted, right? Because you're thinking about when 4, 5, and 6 were made, 77, 80, and 83, right?
Yeah.
So technology obviously is not where it is now. And now you can get shit like this. And this is why people see a snippet. That scene is maybe 30 seconds.
It's not much.
It's not a lot. But this is why people are clamoring for, like, can we have a Darth Vader series where he's hunting down the rest of the Jedi? And the answer is yes. Can we please fucking have that? We never will.
I don't want it.
You don't want it.
I don't want it.
I do.
I want it.
I could have watched a whole movie of him just running through people like
I don't want it. It's not going to be done right.
What is it? Okay, how would you do it?
It won't be done right.
Well, how would you do it to do it right?
Would it be rated R?
It would have to
They can't do it right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess with Disney, they
He's
would.
literally
no,
going
he's-
around to hunt down Jedi.
Yeah, but we can keep it PG-13 because when you use a lightsaber, it instantly cauterizes.
Yeah.
No blood.
You're good. Slice them up.
No blood, bro.
Slice them up. I mean, I guess they did, Nah, it wouldn't work.
What about an animated series?
It's still Disney. It's not going to be done right.
And the coolest part about the Rogue One was that they had the technology to make that realistic. Like, if you watch 4, 5, and 6, you get just individual lightsaber movements, like 1, 2. It's very slow.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, it was just a perfect entrance. It was completely dark. You hear the breathing. All of a sudden, you see the red lightsaber go on. Now you're all in big trouble. And it just comes through and just starts wrecking people. It was the coolest thing ever.
All those robots like, Nisa and Big Doo-Doo this time.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Well, and then, so you're right, like, because so the comparisons here, let's do that. You said it's very slow and obviously to the era and the original trilogy as far as lightsaber combat goes.
Can't fault
And then it was overdone in the prequels, I would say, to a point in some scenes. It's just like General Grievous having 4 fucking lightsabers, like, and just spinning them. Okay,
That's dope as fuck.
No, it's not.
Why?
It's cool.
It's not.
That's dope as fuck.
That's cool.
It's too much.
He earned those lightsabers.
He did
He
not,
did.
bro.
He got them.
He's adding it
Dude,
to his
General
collection.
Grievous will run like he always does.
I'm not saying he's not soft. I'm just saying he earned those lightsabers.
Fucking Charmin, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then what you get in Rogue One with that is like, he's not fighting anyone with a lightsaber, but he's just got that thing, and he's sick when he's choking fools out. He's throwing fools with the Force. Like, yeah, I would love a series. Ed's right though. It had to be rated R. Because like, if I'm a rebel about to get choked out and then like pulled into a lightsaber, I'm screaming fuck. Like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, plus it's going to be, it's going to be a lot of torture because he is torturing a lot of these Jedi, so just a lot of these different people to get this information or to try to turn them to the dark side.
Well, when would they? Because there really weren't a lot of Jedis when Darth Vader was Darth Vader. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really going to be going after Jedi.
Well, no, he would, because so in a sense, like that's why you have to. I say this every time we talk about Star Wars. When you watch the animated series, is like not so much Clone Wars. Obviously, Order 66 takes place at the end, but like in Rebels, like there are a lot of Jedi that escaped Order 66.
Okay.
They are everywhere. And he has these, people that work for him called Inquisitors. Even if you play Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order on PlayStation or whatever you fucking game on, I think they got it for Xbox probably. Anyways, there's Jedi all over the place in hiding. And that's what he's doing. Like, the 501st obviously was under his command when he was still General Skywalker. And then, once he becomes Vader, they become his fist, Vader's fist. Mm-hmm. I know this because I've read about it, but also, let's be real. Everyone played Battlefront 2 on PlayStation 2 when it came out. So we know about Vader's fist. He went planet to planet, killing people that wouldn't conform to the Empire, and there happened to be a lot of Jedis just hiding out in these places. So that would be a series that you could do a lot with. Now, maybe... I don't know what they're doing with the Kenobi series. Obviously,
I have no idea what they would be doing with it.
And that's why I tie it in with this conversation with Vader, because Hayden Christensen's coming back. So is it flashbacks? Is he going to be in the Darth Vader suit? And they can't meet again. They can't meet again.
No.
So it would take all the importance out of the final meeting they had on the Death Star on New Hope, right? Like a presence I haven't felt since I got my fucking legs chopped off at a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten far away from Rogue One.
But I was like, what are we talking about right
That's
now?
okay.
Where are we?
We can come back. I do want to talk about some of the characters in Rogue One besides Vader. Obviously, Vader's not even in it, but he steals the show at the end. But you have these other characters that they're actually creating that new series about, what's his name? Cassian.
Yeah. Yeah,
Andor.
Cassian.
Yeah.
They like you said, they introduced in this 2-hour span a bunch of different memorable characters.
Really well done.
These characters all have a rich history. They feel like they're not one-dimensional. They all have their different motives. They all have different things they're striving for. And Jyn Erso and her father, was Saw Gerrera?
Saw Gerrera's in there.
He's in there
for a second.
For a little bit. But
he probably meets his end.
Yeah.
And the Saw Gerrera character dates back to Clone Wars.
He's all around. But they have some really good actors and actresses. Some heavy hitters in this movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember Jyn Erso's name, but her dad, Matt Mikkelsen. The officer,
Galen Erso.
Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah, Gaylor.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn's in there.
Right.
Forrest Whitaker is Saw Gerrera. They have a bunch of different great people.
Fun fact, Mads Mikkelsen's brother, Lars Mikkelsen, voices Admiral Thrawn in Rebels. And they're trying to push to get him to be the live-action Thrawn as well.
Yeah, I was just seeing that.
Yeah. Because his voice was just so perfect for the role. Anyways, I'm off topic again. But, no, great cast. I love Ben Mendelsohn. If you guys don't know who Ben Mendelsohn is, he's one of those actors that's been in a lot.
He's in everything,
He's in everything,
kinda.
yeah. If you guys watch the series on HBO, The Outsider, he's the main cop. He's in The Dark Knight Rises for 10 minutes.
He's one of the main... he's the main bad guy in Ready Player One, the movie.
That's right. And he also is in Captain Marvel. He's a Skrull. Now, granted, he's in makeup the whole time.
Yeah.
But he's in it. He's been around. And he's Australian, too. He can cover up that accent pretty well. I like it. I love actors that have that range.
Hugh Jackman, dude. Wolverine, sorry.
Yeah, chill.
Sorry.
Chill. But as far as, the Jyn Erso character, right? Her motivations in this film are not so much, in the beginning, it's not so much about the rebellion, right? It's about her father, right? Because that's why she agrees to go on this mission, to find her father. Mm-hmm. And you get that scene in the very beginning where they get separated, right? Where the Empire pretty much comes and takes him. Hey, you're going to build this fucking Death Star.
Right.
And it's Saw Gerrera that pretty much raises her from that point. So her motivations conflict with Cassian's, with Andor's, because he is straight up ruthless. In his first opening scene in that movie, he kills the other spy to protect the secret.
Yeah. And just seeing that in a, Disney movie, in a Star Wars movie, we're not used to that kind of, we keep talking about grittiness, realness, honestly. Of course, we saw Jango Fett's head get cut off. But that was very straightforward. That is just combat. We don't see this kind of espionage, this kind of darkness.
And that's why you're excited about the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's going to be a spy thriller. And those are new things that Star Wars can do. It's as far as the new, not formats, but the new ways they're doing things. That's what they did with Rogue One. And I hope that any other solo projects to come out are like this. And that's what I think we're going to see with these series that are coming out, right? Rogue One opened the door for everything outside of the saga that they want to produce.
Yeah, a Star Wars story now.
Right. Because then if you don't have a successful Rogue One, you don't get Mandalorian. You don't get Andor. You don't get, Acolyte. You don't get all these things that are on the Disney slate for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it really opened up to like just how much you can do with the Star Wars universe. Like anything's possible.
Yeah.
So you could tie anything to anything. It's an unimaginable universe.
Yeah.
You just...
But go ahead.
That's my biggest thing is because like these trilogies just keep following, this one family, and it's a big galaxy. I have said this so many times. Why the fuck do we keep going back to Tatooine? I'm done with Tatooine.
It's familiar.
You
just don't like it because you hate sand.
There's nothing to do there. It's boring.
And yeah,
there's 2 sons and no women. But it's just
They don't take the Republic credits. They need something more real.
Yeah, it's a whole galaxy with all of these different alien life forms and different creatures and societies and governments and whatever. Let's explore that. And history.
Yeah.
It's so much history as well. They're going to do the High Republic.
That's what I mean. We haven't gotten a live action anything that's set in the High Republic era.
Yeah.
Or for that matter, like during the Sith Wars or the first Jedi Sith War. Like that's shit I'd like. It's like, you see what kind of they're doing with George R.R. Martin's created universe, as far as A Song of Ice and Fire. Like they're making a Dance with Dragons, like the Fire and Blood series. They're doing that. They had the series they're going to do about the Long Night, the first one, and it's like I'd like to see Star Wars do more of that shit because the universe is so rich. You literally, like you guys said, could just pluck from anywhere and be like, we're going to explore this, and people will fucking watch it. You know why? Because it's fucking Star Wars. All you gotta do is put that label on, and everyone's gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
And they can write characters like they did in this movie, in Rogue One, that you can care about. Home run. Boom. Disney, hire me, please. Lucasfilm, hire me, please. Anyways. Who's your favorite character? Actually, I'm saving that.
There are so many questions that I would just want to, like, say, but I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck do you have for,
I don't have any.
Oh.
I'm thinking them up as I go. I just thought of one that I almost asked. Gonna save that back
Very
pocket,
good.
back here.
Very good.
So, what did you see in this movie? Like, when did you know, like, fuck, this is gonna be good? On your first watch.
So, for me, it was the connection that we talked about between 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Like, knowing what 3 was, knowing what 4 was. So, like, this is gonna connect that. And I would say within like the first hour of the movie, how it was Jyn Erso kind of putting together her own little A team, and like it was just recruiting the Rogue One squad to go accomplish the mission. So I just thought that was cool. I like when people come together like that to accomplish a common goal.
I think that is one of the best things in like any kind of movie or series or anything. Is just like, in the 80s, it was just like a montage of just like, we got this guy. Oh, this guy's our demolitions expert. Mm-hmm. Oh, this. But it's that same concept of getting all these different people together all at once, and I do love that, all these different characters. And for me, I think what hooked me, I knew that it was going to be good, was when, I was watching it. I honestly did lose myself in it, watching it, and forgot what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And once... after they had gathered all of these people for their A-team, I was like, oh, fuck. I know how this ends, Mm-hmm. They're not going to make it. Yeah. And so at that point, once I realized that, because I lost myself completely in the movie. So once I realized that again, I was like, oh, shit, this is good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
For me, it was actually a controversial point in the film that really, like, captured me. It was, and like I said, I say controversial because there was a lot of backlash against it when they digitally brought back in Tarkin. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that actor's passed away. And it didn't take me out of the film, but when it introduced him being like the one-up over Ben Mendelsohn's character, I was like, fuck, he's mean. Like, this shit's real. Like, that's when I was like, I'm fucking in. You got Tarkin in here, and then later on Vader comes in and he makes a pun, and I love puns. So
I love puns.
So like he hits him with the choking pun, like gives him one of these. And so it was just the cameos, which I know we're trying to get away from because it's a different set of characters that we want to enjoy. But also it was just those little things because they weren't. Tarkin didn't take away from the whole story. He added to it, in a great way. Vader stealing the show at the end was perfect. That's all we needed. We didn't need him to be in the whole fucking film. Mm-hmm. This is what we needed as Star Wars fans and as like Vader fucking purists, knowing the power of Vader that we never got to see in live action.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can watch Rebels and can see him do badass shit, but it's animated. Mm-hmm. And then you can read all the books and, oh yeah, he destroyed a whole planet. Okay, cool. I didn't see it. Like, I want to actually witness this happen. Right. And then even when they are making the extraction of the data from, what's the planet they're on? With the palm trees and the beaches. What's that planet called?
Oh, God.
Fucking A. It was Scarif. Okay, so when they're having the battle over Scarif, they even have cameos from some of the fucking X-Wing pilots that take out the Death Star in A New Hope. And they use this archival footage to bring those guys in.
And it was very visually appealing too, like the bright colors, like the beach and like the blue water and like everything. It was super visually appealing too. So like when they landed there, you were kind of hooked on that. It was like, oh, this is really cool. Like,
I can say that I do love the fact that like in the Star Wars universe, every planet's topography is like the whole planet is that. Like you have the whole desert planet, you have a whole ice planet, you have a whole city planet, and now we have a whole beach planet.
It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous.
It is.
But I like the change that I feel like most movies do. It's like, okay, it might be bright and colorful and happy in the beginning, and then once it gets to the end, then everything is in a lot of different grays. This kind of, I feel like, is the opposite. It's in more of these gray tones in the beginning, then we get to this beautiful planet at the end. So I just kind of like the swap and dynamic of that.
I do like that too. And like, they all end up dying on that. A character that became a fan favorite immediately was It Man. What's his name?
Oh, I don't remember his name, but I'm one with the
blind guy.
The blind guy.
The blind guy.
Who was one with the Force and the Force is with him.
Yes.
Yeah, that dude.
Badass.
Mm-hmm. The first time he takes out stormtroopers is when they are on the planet before. I think they're on Jeddah. And he just blind as fucking day, just beating the shit out of him with his staff. And,
oh yeah, dude. That's another thing that's another great actor. I forgot about him as well.
Yeah. And the dude that's with him, it's just like
they were like a team.
Yeah.
They had their own dynamic that they brought to their team.
Yeah, and he's just a hard ass with his big ass gun.
Star Wars has always been really good about that, like all the way back to where George Lucas created Yoda and was like, I want to create this character who doesn't seem to really bring anything to the team, but is actually like a really powerful being.
Integral, yeah.
And that's what they did with
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, and it's like this blind guy, like what's he gonna do? And then all of a sudden he just shows out and takes out all these guys with the staff.
I mean, it's wow. Because he's the one that enables them to beam the fucking plans off of Scarif.
Yep.
Because he goes out there, right? And then it's just wild, like to think in a film like this that's produced by Disney, that is in the Star Wars universe, that we get this ending where it's not. I mean, there's a silver lining, right? We get the plans. But everyone dies, and I think we all agree. We fucking love that darkness is there.
Yeah.
But also, that wasn't like what Disney wanted, right? Like they showed the fucking execs at Disney this cut, and they were like, "Can we have one where they all live?"
Yeah.
And they're like, Gareth Edwards is like, "Well, no."
Because where would they go?
Yeah. No.
With the rest of
like
it?
No.
Yeah.
Like one, yes, that.
Yeah.
But also like this makes it a darker, grittier film. This is what you would expect. This is the reality of fucking war.
And it draws in a broader audience because of that.
Yeah. It's like watching like Saving Private Ryan. Like the realities of World War II. Not everyone's making it back.
Yeah.
We don't get that in any of the Star Wars we've seen in this fucking saga of the Skywalker Saga. Mm-hmm. But in this movie we get to see that. Like, shit's not always fucking roses and... Roses.
It's not always... That is true. It is not always roses and roses.
Yeah. And that's a saying, right?
That's
now.
It's native to Eastern Washington.
Okay, good. It started born in Spokane.
Yeah.
In the Lilac City.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what part of what makes this movie great, I think. And then just seamlessly transitioned right into New Hope. How'd you guys feel about Princess Leia?
I didn't mind it one bit. A lot of people, I know there was a lot of complaints about the CGI. The CGI for, you said
Tarkin.
Tarkin and Leia.
And
I watched it even after reading that
the criticisms.
People had discrepancies with the CGI. I was like, I don't see any issues.
It looks solid. Like, I straight up, like, when Tarkin came on screen, I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I know that dude.
Yeah, I was like, I know this dude, but I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, I think he died.
Like 98% sure he's dead. And then I was like,
because he was old in A New Hope.
Exactly.
Very much so.
But they got permission from his estate, like from his family. They gave them permission to do this. So like, it's like, okay, it'd be one thing if the family came out and was like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But they didn't. They gave the okay. So it should be fine with everybody else. They want to talk about the ethics of it and whatnot. It's like, bro, he's a character in this story, and we have permission to use him, and we have the rights to the character, and we're going to use him. Should they have recast him? I don't know if you do, because, new fans, they won't make the connection. They could say the name, but they don't know who the fucking Tarkin is.
Yeah, and I don't think another actor would carry that weight.
No.
If he played a more substantial role, I think you could look into recasting him, but the fact that it was just that brief moment to make that connection, I think it was perfect the way it was done.
Just the way he was big dicking fucking Ben Mendelsohn's character.
Director Krennic.
Yeah, Krennic. He's like, oh, Krennic, great job. You mean it's my great job now? Like.
Yeah.
It's like he was like our job at work, where they're like, hey, I made this, and he like goes to the Emperor, hey, I made this.
Hey, look what I did.
It's
I
all
did
too
this.
Familiar. It hurts so much.
Good stuff. And so with the same, it goes back to Princess Leia. Her cameo is even shorter than that. It's like 10 seconds.
It's not much.
No.
It's not much.
And I was fine with it too, because then
just enough.
They blast off into hyperspace, and then boom,
the
Bob's your
next movie
uncle,
starts
right into New Hope.
It was
seamless.
Yeah,
fantastic. It was awesome. I remember because I didn't see it right when it came out. I think I waited like a week or two, and some of Lindsay's family had seen it, and they were like, "Listen, idiot, go see this. The ending's perfect." And I'm like, "Okay," and they're like, "No, you're dumb. Go see it right now." So I got pressured from all sides, right? And then the thing about it is, the older generation, like before us, that actually grew up when 4, 5, and 6 came out, I can see that they weren't very excited about it. I had to do some convincing to my parents, like, hey, watch Rogue One. And they were like, no! Like, they're purists. They're Star Wars purists. They don't fucking like the prequels. Prequels is our generation. But guaranteed, make them... You had to push them, but they would enjoy it too. I mean, even more so than the happy-go-lucky feeling you get from the saga, this one just kind of brings you back to reality.
And it's a perfect introduction into this different anthology of a Star Wars story. It just is its own story. It plays a part in this bigger natural war, but it is its own separate story that it can be viewed in 2 hours. It's not like it needs to be this very long
series.
Setting. Yeah, doesn't need to be a series or anything. I mean, I don't even know how that would be stretched into a series. Some of the other ones that they're coming out with that the series that are going to be a series. Of course, you couldn't have The Mandalorian be a movie.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work out like that. But this is fantastic. I think Solo would have worked perfect as a series.
And maybe not even like a whole series, like a mini series. Like, it's like WandaVision right now. It's just going to be one season and done.
Yeah. I think a 10-episode season of Solo would have been perfect.
It would have been better than trying to cram it all into one.
There's so many different stories about Han Solo, this, rugged smuggler who does all these different things, and trying to compact that into one movie is difficult.
Right. With a series, you could then have one episode like when he meets Chewie. Then you could have an episode where he meets Lando. And then you can have an episode later on where
he backstabs somebody.
Yeah. Like
he's ruthless.
You can show all these things, and that was probably one of the... It sucks because Rogue One was so universally acclaimed that they were like, all right, cool, let's throw Solo out. And then it was like, oh, it wasn't that good. Like, and that's why I think that now we are getting these series. They've kind of seen, like, we need to tell a story over a period of time. Rogue One was just at the perfect time with a great cast, with the perfect story that didn't need to be drawn out. It was 1,000 things happening to make it, great.
Yeah, it really fell into place.
And it's kind of easy. You have your ending already. So it's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
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 Didn't really think about it like that. Like you know the direction you need to take it, so you just figure out how to get it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what D&D did not do
So Game of Thrones
in Game of Thrones.
fell short on.
Yikes.
Always comes back to Game of Thrones.
It always does. I'd seen a post on Reddit and it was like, what was around 10 years ago that doesn't exist today? And it was like the love for Game of Thrones.
It's real life. It's real life. I mean, whenever you talk about Game of Thrones, is anyone sitting there saying, I really loved seasons 1 through 5. They were great. No, it's about how much they hated 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately.
yeah, I think we can probably jump into Hot Route now.
We'll hit some hot routes.
Blue 17! Blue 17!
What is hot route?
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7! Hot route!
That's what we call a sack lunch. Nom, 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 nom.
Okay. So first Hot Route. Who's y'all's favorite character from this film?
Is Darth Vader's off the table?
Yeah, he is.
Why?
Because he's in the film for like 5 minutes.
Not even.
That's what I'm saying.
I really dig Saw Gerrera.
He's only in it for like 5 minutes
He's
too.
only in it for 5 minutes as well, but that was the first time that I had ever seen his character. I know he's in Jedi Fallen Order. I know he is in
Rebels and
Clone Wars. He's been in all these different media.
He's in the mythology.
Exactly. But seeing his end, how clouded his judgment and just what he had been absorbed by
The
rebellion.
Right. And
That's
like not
who-
even just like the rebellion, but like he was radical.
Yeah, he became radical. That's what happened to him, and it showed that other side.
He's like the
because
Al-Qaeda.
We keep thinking, the Empire is bad. It's evil. It's the worst. And we never see that kind of radical piece of the rebellion of like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Do anything.
Right.
Whatever it takes. So I think showing that aspect of it makes him my favorite character.
It reminds me of like, and this is taking a history lesson, but it reminds me of the Revolutionary War, right? Where you had like your purist blue coats that were still fighting the British like across a field from each other, just like shooting at each other while they're standing there. Mm-hmm. And then you had like your Continental armies, which were just pretty much essentially like your militia that did like these tactics that were not accepted as warfare.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were like ambushing dudes on roads and like not, doing the stupid bullshit where you just stand in front of each other and shoot each other. It kind of reminds me of that. And like I said it earlier, it's like, if you look at it through a lens of today, Saw Gerrera in his cell is like a cell of Al-Qaeda or like a terrorist organization. Essentially, that's how they're looked at by the Empire. Now, I'm not comparing the two. Obviously, Al-Qaeda fucking needs to die. But what I'm saying is like the same kind of thing, like radicalism.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of how I see it. What about you, favorite character?
So I had to pull it up just because I wanted to make sure I get names right. But
True.
Okay, what I really liked, and I'll narrow it down to one. What I really liked was, after thinking about how the movie was, like the plot of the movie, they teamed up a lot of characters. So like Jin and Cassian were like a team for a while, and then you had, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's Chirrut Imwe. That's Donnie Yen.
It's Donnie
Yeah.
Yen,
Yeah. So Chirrut Imwe, and then I don't know if it's Baze or Bazi Malbus.
The other guy.
Yeah, so the other guy, like, they were a team, but definitely Chirrut Imwe.
He's great.
He was a badass, and he was funny, and it just, like, everything, all wrapped up together.
Yeah, no, I
So
like that. It's good.
That's my narrow down to one.
It's a good answer. So, next hot route, we got this Rogue One. I asked Ed a few weeks ago, like, what he would like to see from the Star Wars universe on screen. He talked about a Vader series. More on that later. But, like, besides Ed's answer of the Vader series, what is something you would like to see? And I've asked this to Ed before, but now that we have you on the show, I imagine we'll get different results. And I want to hear if Ed has something different to say now that I've taken Vader off the table.
I agree. I'm also excited for a Vader series. I think he's awesome. But I'm really excited to see what they do with the Kenobi series. Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3 is my all-time favorite character. So
Nice.
Yes,
I'm
went to the
excited.
Sith Kenobi.
Yeah, I want to see the continuance of that. I think he's
Dude, Clone Wars Kenobi is the sassiest motherfucker.
really...
He's super sassy.
Oh my god.
I think I mean, I'm kind of right in the same vein with you, but before that, I would like to see Qui-Gon and Kenobi training together, doing all these things together.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Like,
Qui-Gon.
Because so much.
Before anything that we've actually seen.
Before the Phantom Menace.
Prequels. Before the Phantom Menace, like, Obi-Wan as a Padawan. How did he become the man that he showed us throughout the entire trilogies?
There'd have to be a Satine arc in there, too. For Clone Wars fans, you know what I'm talking about?
So yeah, I would love to see just adventures of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Well, that's definitely a hard question to answer, especially with everything that Disney's done. They've taken no expectations and given you so much stuff. So it's like I don't know what I want to see. Like whatever they put out, I'm excited for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm definitely gonna go into it with an open mind and be like, let's see what you guys made here.
Man, I like that. Good. I mean, based around Kenobi is like universally loved. So those
He's
are
the
accepted.
best Jedi.
He is. He is.
Yeah.
So last hot route, and this one's gonna take a little bit.
Okay.
I took Vader off the table earlier for that last one. Vader's back on the table. I want you to pitch me your series. We already know we'll start with Ed because he already says it needs to be rated R. But pitch it to me. Tell me what it needs to be. Tell me what you want.
The Vader series.
Yeah.
So
And just a disclaimer, like this is not happening. This is not something that's rumored. Like this is us being fanboys. Continue.
So pretty much it's not gonna have a very continuous arc. It's gonna pick up basically right after Revenge of the Sith, and it's gonna hit a lot of those points because he's going through huge life changes right now. He is Vader now. He is a Sith Lord, and just learning how to be a Sith. So that would be a very big part of a season. And then a next season might pick up a couple years later. Like, the first season could end, like, okay, now he's gonna go on the hunt. And then the second season could pick up, like, a couple years later. And maybe this is a way that they could do it. It doesn't have to show all of the hunts that he's done, all of the torturing and just pillaging that he's done to all these different worlds and civilizations. It could just pick up later with maybe a specific Jedi. Ahsoka. Anybody. Cal. So it could pick up with a specific Jedi and then play off of that Jedi, like them trying to get at each other.
Okay.
So that's just a way that the first maybe couple seasons could go.
Okay. Pitch me, Andrew.
I would like to see Darth Vader in the role of the anti-hero. Like every character that Nicolas Cage plays, the good guy, bad guy, right? I want to see him struggle with his internal demons, being like, okay, I'm a Sith now, but I also like know where I came from, kind of, and I want him to, I want to see him struggle through the process. Like, he's gonna do bad stuff because he's a bad guy, but I also want to see him do good things and help people, even if he doesn't directly know he's doing that.
I see what you're saying, and I think if you combine both your ideas, like that whole first season he was talking about, it's Vader with those conflicts because he's not fully dark yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That first season is him struggling with that, and then at the end of that first season, something clicks, something snaps, and he becomes the Vader that we know for 3 decades after that.
Dude, what the hell would snap, though? He already killed younglings.
Well, he just goes back and
He was
forth.
still Anakin Skywalker when he killed the younglings, dog.
Right, but like...
And who doesn't want to do that?
Like, he'll remember where he came from. He'll remember, like, the
Padme.
good memories, Padme, Obi-Wan, right? He'll remember good things, and that'll kind of snap him out of it, but he continuously struggles because he's under...
Just like flashes
power
of
the
this,
dark side.
flashes of who he was.
An anti-hero
Yeah.
series.
I've never thought of it that way, and that's actually really good. Like the conflict, because we know that he's still having conflict when Luke senses him.
Yes.
So he's probably been having that conflict the entire time he was Vader, which is an interesting dynamic that has never been explored or really talked about. Maybe in novelizations, but I'm not going to read them. Sorry.
Like for example, say he's hunting down a Jedi, right? You take a series and it's like, I'm gonna go after this person, right? He goes after this person, but he goes to this planet to go after this person, and there becomes like a bigger villain than him. So then he has to take out that villain or monster or beast or something that ends up overshadowing his antagonist role.
Like like the Krayt Dragon, or like a creature like that, like a Rancor, or like the Hutts.
Like there's some, yeah. There's a whole crime syndicate still to fucking
like
worry
Maul's
about.
still out there up until. Well, no, he's not.
No, he's not like that.
Well,
A while.
He's there for a while. Like Maul doesn't officially die until pretty much essentially right before Rogue One. In the chronology of that, and that's just me being a nerd and knowing all this stuff. But we'll leave it there. Great answers. Now I want a Vader series. Maybe we can Lucasfilm hire us.
We'll pitch it.
And we'll pitch that. And that brings us to the end of another episode. So Andrew, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Great topic today, Rogue One.
Yeah.
We strayed off a little bit, but we kept it Star Wars.
Oh yeah, love having guests on for all these different Star Wars episodes, and it just brings a new insight into everything that we talk about. Super fun.
Yeah. So as always, I'm Chris.
I'm Ed.
Got it right again.
Nice.
And this has been Almost Agreeable. Well, what do you know? Another episode down. You can catch all new episodes every week on Thursdays. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Almost Agreeable.